Okay, I've just finished playing Like a Dragon Yakuza Pirate in Hawaii, and I just want to share my quick thoughts on about the game. So overall, I think the game is good, though not quite as good as the previous mainline entries I've played. So to put things in perspective, I have played Yakuza 0, Yakuza 1 Kiwami, Yakuza 2 Kiwami, and that's all the Kiru saga that I've played. Then I've played the reboot, which is Yakuza 7 and Yakuza 8, or Like a Dragon 7 and 8, with Ichiban. So overall, this is a unique take on the franchise because it's sort of going back to the fighting style gameplay again instead of the mainline entries we have now, which is turn based. And also, this is using the main character as Majima, which in previous games has only been prominent, at least in the ones I played in Yakuza 0. And it's I think, a popular character. And it's a character I enjoy very much, but it was not, it didn't appear after Yakuza 0. So, so that's interesting. Also, it's definitely a side story because throughout the entirety of this game, the Yakuza theme wasn't very strong in that we're mostly embarking on this brand new adventure with Majima that doesn't really involve any Yakuzas. The Yakuza only came into play in the very late, and they also weren't that important. So it's definitely a new experience. Now, why do I think it's not quite as good? So overall, it's already a spin-off, which is like a smaller scope story. As you can probably tell from the price tag, it's lower than full price. I think it's $40 full price. And as a result, the story is, I think, shorter. And it's also reusing a lot of assets from the Infinite Wealth. So the Hawaii is basically the same as Infinite Wealth. The mini game, there's a dragon card game. There's also a what's the other one? There's like a delivery game. They are all the same as previous as the Infinite Wealth. And the new mini game they added was the pirate game, the pirate ship combat game, and that was pretty prominent. It was featured throughout the entirety of the game, and there's also a quest line involved around it. I finished the quest line. It's called, I think, the Ghost Fleet quest line. Overall, I think it's fine. It's not as quite as involved as I wanted it to be, but it did actually span quite a significant portion of the game if you choose to do the quest line. Also, if you choose to involve in the Pirate Mania tournament, you're gonna be playing these ship combat a lot, and honestly, they kind of get old because there's not that much to it. You kind of do the same thing over and over again. So as far as minigame goes, I think I actually prefer Yakuza 1's minigame. I think the Cabaret minigame is better, and but in this game, not only is it not as fun, but it takes longer. Also, you do it more often, so that I feel like kind of dragged down a bit. Uh, then as far as story goes, it's an adventure story. I think the story itself is good. The only drawback is it didn't really tie in with the Yakuza universe. Like, you didn't actually. The most of the characters you meet in this game are new. There are a few throwback characters from previous entries, but none of them are like had a super big impact or like revealed a lot of interesting stuff in this game. So it's mostly a brand new side story, which is fine. But I think if you're a fan of the Yakuza universe, you probably would, like this crime drama theme a bit more. And here we don't really have it. It's really about like pirate adventure, which is, I think, interesting enough on its own. But it's pretty different from what we used to have. Combat wise, I think so. This time Majima has two styles. I think they play okay. It's very thematic. like the pirated one. But nothing too crazy. Uh, and I'll actually say that about the majority of the Yakuza games I've played. Their combat is never really the standout. It's like cool and flashy and fun to play, but it's not really the point of it. It's not like a Dark Souls game or Elden Ring game where you're playing it for the combat. Here, the combat is just part of the formula. It's uh, it fits the theme well because it's brawling basically, but it's nothing too crazy about it on its own. And yeah, so it's basically a re envisioned uh, Infinite Wealth with a new protagonist and new storyline about finding treasures. And I think they did it well. Um, with that said, I still like the melee entries more. And as of right now, I'm actually very excited about the next Yakuza game because I think, although it's not announced what the next Yakuza game will be, um, we've seen from I think which event was it? As one as Jeff Keighley. Oh, Game Award. I think the Game Award they released a trailer for a game called Project Sentry that looks like a 1900 uh, Japanese sort of Yakuza style game, which I think is really good. I think it might be like a prequel to Yakuza Zero. It might be talking about how there's these mafia societies, how they formed, and that would be a breath of fresh air because currently the franchise is moving forward in timeline, and the involvement of Yakuza in these games are definitely recessing. I think this is very apparent in at least in Infinite Wealth, as in there wasn't, from what I remember, there's not a ton of Yakuza involvement there. Whereas if you think about Yakuza 0 and 1 and 2, it's all about, you know, you know mafias. So yeah, and I think a throwback would be very cool because I think that's the core identity of Yakuza. I think it's what people like, the fact it's a crime drama. So yeah, so that's what I thought. I think the game would be good for people who are already a fan of the franchise. Whereas I think if you haven't played any of these games first, I wouldn't really recommend this one first. Just because this one is kind of like an outlier. It doesn't really uh, fit in the Yakuza universe. It doesn't really, involve a lot of what's already going on. It's kind of its own thing on the side. So for people who already really like the franchise and who likes Majima, I think they'll be a good addition. It's a cool experience, especially for the reduced price. So so yeah, so that's my thought on the game.